Well, come on, folks. This is going to be a collaboration. You're enthusiastic. We're funny. We're funny. You're going to get more enthusiastic. So let's try this one more time, because we got to drown out the alcoholics downstairs. Red Bank! Dublin House! Second floor! Welcome to Comedy Island. Anyhow, oh, wait, I forgot one group. Our nurses out there. I got nurses out there, right? Let's hear it, ladies. See, I know I seated the audience with a few of my nurse buddies. Which sounds kind of sexual if you think about it. I seated the audience with my waist buddies. Like we're having sex on the table and chairs. You know, which we weren't. So if it's sticky, somebody probably just spilled their drinks. Well, that's one of the other comics. Chris, Finney, any of you guys on the... No? Okay. And I know it wasn't the waitresses. They're good girls. They put towels down. Like to make nurses scream. I'm not getting any nurses screaming today. You know, I got a secret fantasy. Well, not so secret fantasy. Standard one. You know, a nurse. I'm on the hospital bed. She's going to climb on top of me, give me a vigorous chest massage. You know, one of those old-fashioned, old-school nurse dresses, the white ones, buttons too tight. You know, and oh my Lord, she forgot to wear panties. That's a reasonable fantasy, right? That's not that outrageous. We're not going Sandusky territory. Uh-oh. I think we got another Sandusky joke coming up later. Love the nurses, though, but you know what? The doctors are starting to piss me off. They really are, because, you know, the older I get, and there's a heads up to you younger guys out there. Hey, Dennis, you know about this one. The older I get, the more they're trying to shove things up my ass. You know, it usually starts when you're about 40. You know, you're going in for routine physical. Well, Mr. Lipton, everything looks good. Blood chemistry's good. Your heartbeat is because I don't know what the real thing would be. But you're approaching that age where we need to start screening for certain cancers, prostate cancer. And if we catch it in time, it's a very treatable problem. So we have a couple of alternatives for this. We have 3 alternatives. Alternative number 1, we can give you a simple blood test. PSA blood test. Take a couple minutes, we can get it done right away. And I'm thinking to myself, this looks so bad. We could do that. Unfortunately, Mr. Lipton, not that accurate. No? Second alternative, we could do a sonogram. That's where we get some hot young technician to smear gel on your groin, take a wand, and rub it up and down. And I'm thinking, usually I got to pay $75 for this at the tiki bar. And Blue Cross Blue Shield will pay for this, $20 definitely. But unfortunately, Mr. Lipton, not that accurate either. No, I'm afraid if we're going to go accurate, we got to go old school. The digital exam. And Chris playing organ music like da-da-da. It's rather ironic it's called organ music. So I asked the doc, you know, Doc, what's that involved? Kind of know what's coming, I just want to see if it's as bad as I think it is. So I said, well, Mr. Lipton, it's very simple. I basically strap on a latex glove and finger fuck your ass. You become my bitch. Which did happen to coincide with my worst case scenario. Now, truth be told, normally you get this when you're about 39, 40. First time I got it done was I was a tender lad of 17. It was part of my college physical. I was humiliated. I was embarrassed. You know, I was ashamed to talk to anybody. I was constipated for 3 days. No shit. But I took some sort of refuge, some sort of comfort in the idea that, well, all my peers were going through the same thing and also too embarrassed to talk about it. But over the years, as I've gotten more comfortable talking about this, not too many of my friends said, anybody out, let's take a quick survey. How many of you guys had to get a prostate exam as part of your college physical? That's what I thought. So I don't know what my family doctor's agenda was, but it doesn't matter. I heard he left the medical field, and whatever old Doc Sandusky is up to now. All right, I promise that's the last Sandusky joke. Well, I turned about 40. All right, I went in for a routine physical. Doctor's checking me out, and then, well, Mr. Lipton, we need to do that prostate exam. And you're in an odd position, because if you run out the door screaming, you're a pussy. If you stay and go through with it, you're his bitch. So you kind of got to man up to being his bitch, which I think philosophers are going to be arguing about for the next century or so. Anyhow, walking out of that second time, you know, I thought to myself, this ain't going to happen again. All right? If I'm going to get violated, it's going to be by an attractive woman. All right? Society is more forgiving. You know? I mean, if you're walking down the street and somebody says, well, there's Cameron Diaz's bitch. She finger fucks him up the ass. This guy will sign up. So I was getting another routine physical about 5 years later. You know, this rather cute Indian physician. And somebody said, make sure you tell them it's female. You know, Indian like, hello, Mr. Lipton, how are you today? You know, that little head bobble thing. Not, instead, everything seems to check out. Your blood pressure, whatever the hell it is. But, Mr. Lipton, it's been a while since you got your prostate exam. You really should schedule one. And I'm looking at it thinking, well, this is as close to Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, as I'm going to get. Or Meredith Grey. Or Izzy. Hi. Those Grey's Anatomy fans out there. So I said, well, Doc, is that something you could take care of now? And she said, yes, I would be perfectly happy to finger fuck your ass and make you my bitch. So she walks out the room for a couple minutes, and you know how male doctors, when they're examining a female, all right, they'll bring a nurse in to make sure you're not accused of rape or any improprieties? Well, apparently the doctor thought I might accuse her of that, which I wouldn't have, because I am a firm believer in a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. I could have used a real spoonful of sugar. So anyhow, she brings it. Turns out she's probably sitting out there figuring out, do we bring in Ben Stiller? Or do we bring in Nurse Jackie? Right? Male or female? Fortunately, she brought in a female nurse. Again, if I'm going to be violated, I don't need any guys there. So there I am, bent over the table, nurse in front of me, doctor behind me, and I could tell the nurse felt awkward, because she's got this look on her face like... Which made me react, looking back at her I'm looking back at her the same way, going... And for a split second, I thought to myself, gee, I wonder who feels more awkward, her or me. Then I realized, I'm the one with the finger up my ass. I win. But that's just the beginning, guys, you know. Then when you get to be about 50, it's like you go into the doctor, routine physical, Mr. Lipton, everything's still doing good, and I see Dr. Gupta is taking care of you. Very smooth touch, that doctor. But now you're at the age where you need to start worrying about other types of cancer, colon cancer. And unfortunately, there's only one screening test we have for that, the colonoscopy. So I asked the doctor, well, okay, what does that involve? Basically, we take a 2 or 3 foot tube and shove it up your ass. You're still my bitch. And you know what? That exceeded my worst case scenario. Now, mercifully, they knock you out for this. You're unconscious. All right? But I'm a comic, okay? And I'm thinking, I don't want to be anybody's bitch. And if you're a comic and you can make somebody laugh, even if you're not there, even if you're not conscious, you're not their bitch. So what I've started to do is make a list of the perfect punchline. What I want my wife to do the next time I have to get this test, and I've got a couple of years, is to get a bright red lipstick and on my left cheek write the perfect punchline. So when I'm unveiled in front of the doctor, they're all going to start laughing and say, oh, Dave Lipton, he's such a funny guy. Because, oh, I skipped something. That's true. He's a funny guy. He's not our bitch. He's okay with us. Yeah, because really what my fantasy is, and I forgot to mention this, is when I'm unconscious, I'm convinced I'm strapped to a Sibian. All right, nurses who dance around topless, shaking their boobs in my face. Right, and the doctor's doing like, you know, the Wizard of Oz. Oh-ee, oh-ee. So I've been working on the perfect punchline. And I've got a list here. Just want to see the audience reaction over time. I'm filtering this, adding a few, taking a few away. So let's see how you guys like it. Punchline number 1. There is no light at the end of this tunnel. Punchline number 2. Quiet, Congress in session. Number 3, rest in peace, Jimmy Hoffa. Caution, high winds ahead. No gerbil zone. You went to medical school for this? Before I go with the rest, let me just comment on that a little bit. Smartest kid in your high school, gets great grades, goes to a good college, works his ass off, goes to a great medical school, works his ass off, does a residency, works his ass off, comes out and spends his life finger-fucking guys up the ass, he's either got to be the most depressed guy in the world or have a very strange agenda, and we'll meet him at the Rainbow Room. Punchline number 7. This is my favorite. I'm geeking out here. Boldly go where no man has gone before. Number 8, this end up. Number 9, voted number 1 best cheeks, Rainbow Room, 2003. And finally, number 10, Acme Fertilizer Company. How's my time, guys? Keep going? All right, one more thing. I was at the Y taking a shower. This could go in a lot of different directions. And this really old, really fat guy, I mean, I'm old, but this guy had it easy, about 15, 20 years on me. He comes into the shower. I glance up for a second, he's got his back to me. All right? And I suddenly notice, he's got this saggy ass. And it occurs to me, kind of looks like a big vagina. But then the philosopher in my head said, well, Dave, does this big fat saggy ass look like a vagina, or does a vagina look like an old fat man's saggy ass? Now you might think it doesn't make any difference, but it has real world implications, because if it's the latter, a vagina looks like a fat old man's saggy ass, I could never have sex again. But if it's the former, fat old man saggy ass looks like a vagina, I could go bisexual. Anyhow, keep it. That's all, folks. Thank you very much. I'm Dave Lipton. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Here we go for Dave Lipton. Yeah. All lesbians, please report to the ladies' room. All lesbians to the ladies' room.